We live from the Emerald City. It's the Dish with Deeva Show. Here she is, the one and only K-Cee Deeva.
What up, peeps? It's your girl K-Cee Deeva here. We finally made it. Let me tell you something. You know, sometimes you just have those days. It has been a technical nightmare for your girl all day. Trying to do a webinar earlier in the day, technical issues. Trying to do my show tonight, technical issues. It just hasn't been in my favor. But that's okay, because when I do get to come on and talk to you all, it puts me in such a better mood. Now that we're on the air, we're live, real talk, real people. I do this every week, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 Central, 10:30 if you're a night owl, on the East Coast. And I'm just so excited about my guest today. I actually met him when I was at Rainier Avenue Radio. Shout out Tony B, KZ, D Money, all my friends over there that I miss.
D Money.
So much. Cool peeps, still doing their thing. So proud of them. But my guest tonight, I met him when he came on the show then. And we had a few people on the show. And, you know, he's a very mild-mannered, modest guy, nice guy. He didn't say a whole lot. People were kind of over-talking him. And then I'm looking on Instagram and I'm seeing him doing all this stuff. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. I need to get him on the show when it's just him. And I can need to find out more about this guy, because he's just doing some amazing stuff that I'm going to let him share with you. But please help me welcome to the show, NoMan. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you so much for having me, K-Cee.
And you're joining us live from your studio, which is in the background, which looks really cool. Yeah,
this is actually probably a pretty convenient location to have for a live stream. I just sit on my butt here and do work every day. So.
Right on. That sounds pretty cool to me.
No,
all right.
I finally have a space where I can kind of do hobby and job at the same time, and it's
I love that. That's important. A nice, comfortable space where you can do what you do. Okay, so for we're gonna get into kind of your backstory and how you got started and all that stuff. Because I'm always curious. This is a show where we get to know people one-on-one. And now, one thing I do know is that you are a native of Seattle, Washington, more specifically Renton.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie about my geographical location. I've been out in Renton for about 25 years now. I grew up near the Highlands, and then I kept moving north south as I grew up. So I'm out in downtown Renton right now, near Liberty.
Okay, yeah. Right on. Very familiar with Renton. So now let's go way back. Do you remember how old you were when you decided that you wanted to get into music? Was it one of those things where you were like real young, you know, banging on the pots and pans in your mom's kitchen, or, you know, did you decide later on in life? Like, when did you decide that you wanted to get into the hip hop game?
It's really both, to be honest. Like, I was definitely one of those babies where my mom won't shut up about exactly how I was, you know, my first couple years of life. And she'd always tell me that it was only music is the thing that could really calm me down and shut me up when I was having temper tantrums or having issues with stimulus, because I was a really overstimulated kid. I absorbed things that were going around me way stronger than I should, and it stressed me out. And so he raised me on like reggae and R&B, because my mom's from Jamaica. And so a lot of reggae and R&B, and actually just really strong, soulful, melodic, vibey music. And that's kind of what I kept going into. When I got active in it, it was more in my church. So that's where the more still soulful element started. I started singing in my church when I was probably like 8 years old, and then did a couple voice choirs, and then did choir almost every single year at high school. So
I love it.
Hip hop was just something a little different. Like, that came around because I just started writing raps out of nowhere. Like, it happened when I was like 6, and I had to write a couple songs for my church, and I think I did like one song where I snuck in a rap when nobody like allowed it. I just kind of like did it on stage, and from there I took it, and I've been writing ever since.
I love it. Hey, you know what? You gotta find those moments, right? You just kind of slip it in, and people go, "Wait a minute, I kind of like that." Now, so you mentioned your Jamaican roots, and I happen to know that your grandfather is an award-winning artist. Talk a little bit about him.
My grandfather, Otis, born Leroy, Otis is his stage name. He's been performing ever since like my mom was a child. They moved from the islands back when she was about 8, and they came over to California and bounced around a lot of different places, mostly Canada. I'm not sure the exact timeline of how long they were in the States, because half of my mom's family, her sister and family, lived out in LA and stay there to this day. But she was in Canada and didn't come back down to Washington until I was. But my grandfather, like, I've only met him a handful of times, but it's crazy because to this day, he is still, this man at his age is still sending me Facebook stream invites from the bar that my uncle owns in the grill.
Wow.
And he's still hitting the stage every single day. It's just crazy inspiring.
That's awesome.
So I've been seeing that for years. Like to this day, he's still sending me videos.
That is awesome. That's a goal right there, to still be able to just, like, no matter what age you are, just still just living life, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy. And I know that for a fact that despite how much time you put into that specifically, because there's a whole thing besides that, he's never once in his life stopped living his dream. And there's not a whole lot of people in my family that have really been able to chase their dream. A lot of people in my family get bogged down by terrible life circumstances, deaths, family members catching diseases and illnesses, and they have to stop and take care of them. And so a lot of people, even when they're incredibly talented, because there's a lot of talented people in my family, get hit, and it's really rare to see them take that hit and just keep going and thriving.
Sure. Yeah, no, and and that's that's kind of the ups and downs of life, right? And you gotta either push through, but sometimes the circumstances you can't. You know what I mean? You have to, life diverts and things happen, and so definitely get that. But you yourself have just been doing your thing, and like I said, when I talked to you way back in the Rainier Avenue radio days, almost 2 years ago now, maybe a year and a half.
Yeah, I met you about 2 years ago now, 2.5 maybe.
Crazy. I've just, like I said, just on social media, I've been keeping my eye on you, and I've seen you blossom and doing your music and your artistry, and I think it's really cool. So now talk a little bit about where your inspiration comes from, where your ideas come from for your music.
I'm pretty everywhere. Yeah, everywhere. Let me take a sip of my water. Oh, Lord. Drink water. Stay hydrated.
Cheers. Yeah, stay hydrated. I'm not drinking water, though.
Oh, look at you. Okay.
So I was just asking, like, what kind of, where your ideas come from? Life experience.
A lot of my ideas are simply just, a lot of my ideas are merely just me talking through things that happen in life. A lot of times I feel. I don't feel like there's an inspiration I get for writing my songs. I feel like there's an inspiration I get just from doing the music itself.
Okay.
If I have, it's a big reason why I don't produce for myself. A lot of my beats are not made by me. And that's just because I like to be struck with inspiration and then ride that wave instead of like do it really intentionally.
Oh, okay.
When I go about a song, I usually don't really plan it that much. I surely don't. It's like what strikes me the very second, what's the vibe, what's the theme? And especially the overall arcing factor is, where am I right now? And where I am depends on where I take that vibe and what I write. So like, for instance, the last track I put out, Different Routes, was all just about, times changing and things falling apart. And the fact that things don't always go the way we planned or in the direction we really wanted it to even go.
Right.
And I've been going through a separation through a relationship and a separation with friends. And overall, there's a lot of things were just rapidly changing in my life, too many at a time to count. And that was me kind of walking through that, because my producer, The Heist, THAHYST, he's amazing. He's out here in Seattle.
Oh, right.
And that's an @ too for everybody listening. That's @ THAHYST. He made the beat, and I just caught this like driving in almost like a desert road by yourself type vibes. And then I kind of did some thinking, and I was like, oh, this is literally exactly the beat I've been looking forward to kind of compartmentalize a lot of this last 6-8 months.
Wow. And so that's really cool, because I think, from other artists I've talked to, having that relationship with your producer, right? And the people, whoever's creating your tracks for you, they get to know you, and they know like what works, what doesn't, so you can hear a beat and go, oh yeah, this is gonna fit with whatever story you want to tell, kind of thing. I think that's a cool relationship to have. It sounds like you have that with him.
It's a starting for him, but I plan to work with him and like 2 others on a consistent basis. The next song I got coming out is actually one produced by me, but the song after that, because I have a song dropping about every month until October, is the plan.
Oh, okay.
And sorry, I had a burp.
Hey, it happens.
And the guy afterwards is a guy by the name of Josh Fearley, or Jay Fearley, on Instagram, and we've been just between like us like working with other artists and trying to give them like a pretty good foundation to take with their music or the work we've done together. I am so excited to show off those songs, and it's exactly what you said, like being able to really connect and click with your producer is everything. Because I've done every other song before now has been completely, I bought it online, I never met the guy, I have no idea what's going to happen with this track, but to have it all in the room, like when I sit in this room and I have me, the engineer, maybe another artist and me performing it, and then the producer, it just feels very like we did this, for lack of a better words, like, just we did this.
Yeah.
And I would much prefer that too, because again, in Seattle, we're trying to make sure that everybody gets put on, because it seems like a lot of things get easily overlooked. And to have a production team from the city is so, like, just got signed to Sony Music. Like this kind of stuff happens on a daily basis where it's one good song in the right hands from the city, and boom, whether you want to be a producer or whether you want to be an artist, but you got to take the time to really, support that person who's tapping in with you.
Absolutely. And I think, you and I were talking about this a little bit before the show. We have so much talent here that's untapped, and and we need to, support each other. You know what I mean? We need to uplift each other, work, hire producers and artists that are in Seattle and collaborate. The collaboration piece, the cross promotion piece, I feel is so important. And I just feel like there's so much talent here, and we just need to continue to just get you all out there. So now you mentioned, so you've been releasing one track every month. So
no, it's not. This is a new thing I'm doing. I put out the announcement after Different Routes was out that this is what's going on until about October.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
so that was the full for about 5 or 6.
Okay, cool. So now, what's your favorite track? Do you have a favorite of the ones that you're releasing, and why?
Different Routes was definitely one of my more favorite tracks I've made to date, only because I've been holding on to that song for about 4 months now. I had a thing where I was working on this.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Sorry, my Google.
Is that Alexa?
No, that was a Google Home going off.
Oh.
Because you said, "Oh, cool." I was checking, and it went off.
Cool.
What was the question? That's super distracting me.
That's okay. I was just asking. Let's see. What did I ask? You said a song a month. Which was your favorite track and why? And you said you were holding the one for 4 months because.
And it just meant a whole lot to me for the reason I described before. Like it was nothing in that song was a lie. It was just straight out what I was feeling at the moment, the things that had been going on in a very introspective way, not in a whole like this is what's happening to me type way. And it was cool because I was really able to just like get concisely what I wanted on. I was going to say a piece of paper, but it's it's 2021. I'm writing in my phone.
Right. Exactly.
But it's all there, and I'm a writer at heart because before I started this, I was going to be a journalist, and I took a couple classes for audio engineering as extracurriculars, and I just fell in love with it. So writing, first off, but regardless of the performance or the mixing type thing, has always been like my first love. So when the lyrics are like, "This is it. This is right. This is what I wanted." That's where I'm just like, sweet, okay. I get to walk away.
I love that though, because the power behind the pen. It's your story to tell, right? Not someone else trying to write it for you.
Now, co-writers are cool and all. Don't get me wrong. I've seen recently more than ever people with teams are getting so much success, and that's actually like complete collaboration. But yeah, it's nice to write it yourself.
I can totally see you being a journalist. I can see you doing that as well, for sure. Okay, so now I know that people are anxious to hear you perform a song because I've been teasing that you're going to perform for us. So, why don't you tell before you get set up, what are you going to perform and give us some background about the song.
Got you. So the song I'm going to play for you guys today is called Dial In. It's featuring another Seattle artist by the name of Swaya. And she sang this with me back in, I want to say, 2019 when I was still planning for the album Self Portrait. That's my first album to date. Check it out on all platforms, Spotify, Self Portrait by the name of
Right on.
NoMan, period. The period is very important.
Oh, yes.
Very important. Long story. Anyways, I'm going to set this up for you. We'll take it away.
Okay. So we'll let him get set on up. And so I just want to remind you guys while he's getting set up to perform for us, don't forget, first Thursday of the month in June, my show Northwest Nightcap. I have my home team with me, Princess Robin, who does a show called Traveler's Guide to Venus and Mars, all about relationships. Be sure to check her out on all available platforms, Apple, iTunes, all the platforms. That is going to Anthony Adams is on there as well. Robin's hubby and musical director for Confunction, Kurt Clayton is on there, and we get together. We're a bunch of friends. We chit chat about all things entertainment. So some of the older stories that are still relevant, still going on, get you caught up to speed to those, but also whatever's new and hot, we do as well. And so, yes, be sure to check that out. And we always have a good time. So right now, NoMan is getting set up to perform. He's going to perform live one of his hits. And if you're just tuning in, he said that he's doing this thing where he's releasing a track each month, one track each month up until October, which is a really good strategy, huh? Very cool. I think that's a good strategy to get people interested and, looking for the next one. So, NoMan, we're ready when you are.
Let's get it. Give me 1 second.
All right.
It's one for the money, two for the show. We just gonna hear me from within. Let me say that I've been working every day, like to play the role. Now tell me when they get it, I begin. How I'm in persona, I'm stronger than a booster. Something's coming over me again. And you know the sun's coming out and the lights getting low. If you heard from the kid and dialing. Coming up, I'm busy, better know where to go in the city. I've been up and away, she looking down, feeling too pretty. And the stars filling enough, these affairs about us. Just gonna learn to take control and grab the pen of busted and inebriated. What am I doing? You must debate it. 25 rotations trying to display when not enough created. When it came to limitations of the fabrications, propagated to me, I didn't see my graduation. And I'm only talking in to earn my validation. Dozing in the back of class, awaiting higher placement. My ambition searching for my soul purpose. Laying groundwork, cementing that my soul worth it. And the show ain't over, just needed to draw the curtains. Had to hit the road to know that home and where the hurt is. There's a dark about to hide deep beneath the surface. But I'm a prophet for a blow. You can call me Curtis. Yeah, this one for the money, two for the show. We just gonna heal me from within. Let me say that I've been working all my day and I have to play no role. Now tell me one day and then I'll begin. Then I'm a real persona, stronger than erosion. Something's taking over me again. And you know the stars coming out and the lights getting low. If you heard from the kid and dialing. Where you know where your period. Wait a minute, what the happened or where your bread? Stony Mountain space and just let me take off my tin hat. Dealing with ideas of psychosis, wish I could wave away my memories like hocus pocus. Some days are dating away from my whole focus. I'll be honest, I can name my concept more focus. Some things don't fit together like shit you don't need to notice. Idealistic opportunity stay shut down. Rolling windows up is frigid when I rock down. Lately I've been feeling bluer than Seattle summers. There's been green until and gave compared to most the others. Now that bomb I seem to throw away to some of y'all. But I ain't handing out my wins at the yard line. No one gonna do me better than I first of all. Still my confidence plays double agent hard time. Ducking from these guards blind. Trying to pin me down, cause labels make it easier. Drop and drink, bleed shit, and don't there ain't no pleasing me. Rebel with a cause, breaking free like a million. Finally putting out the smoke and mirrors on my stereo. Hey, right.
Hey.
I know. You feel. Hey, 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 hey.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. I love the beat. I love your voice. You got this little bravado thing that happens when you spit. I love it. I love it.
No, thank you so much. I was training very classically.
Yes.
Between piano and between choir, I've always loved just putting like my whole chest into my singing. You know what I mean? I don't want to do no whiny, half committed performance. I love just giving my all when it comes to doing any kind of sing song. Like I rap in the future in these couple of singles, you'll definitely hear me do a whole lot less. Oh, but like that's my jam, and I'm so glad that you rocked with it. Thank you to everybody that was with me in that performance, and
yes. It sounded great. I love that track. And so yeah, I want to talk about that because a lot of people may not know, classic piano. I mean, you're classically trained. Like you didn't just decide, I'm just gonna do this thing. Like you really have the background. And I think it just makes you even more versatile. You know what I mean? You can do so many things. You can sing, you can rap, I know it's even with your performance, you're into it. Like, you're on a stage. And I'm just like, I love that. You know how to draw the audience in. And I don't think that's something that comes naturally. That's not something you can teach or learn. I think people kind of either you have it or you don't. And I feel like you have that. Now let's talk a little bit about you also. I mean, like you said, you got a lot of talented people in your family. I would be remiss if I didn't mention this. You have a connection to another famous family, your cousin.
Yo, yeah. I was freaking out for a couple of seconds there. Sorry. Yeah, no. So I guess do you want me to just go into it?
Just go for it. I'm gonna let you tell the story. Yeah.
Okay. One of the biggest reasons that I really got into recording music and wanting to perform music was because of my cousin Bobby DeBarge Jr., because his father was the lead singer, Bobby DeBarge of Switch and DeBarge.
Yes.
And it's so sad because I think I was only like a baby when I met his father. I don't think I actually ever met his father in particular. But Bobby was living in my house like almost every other summer growing up in my life. And between him never shutting up when it comes to him singing like the latest pop or hip hop song, I mean, like he ruined the real Slim Shady by Eminem. Like just go every single morning. Or when T-Pain I'm gonna buy you a drink. Yeah, oh my gosh. Like
I love that song.
And he grew up doing a lot of, he was trying to not even off the name, but because he was just born into that environment, he was always trying to actively make a name for his music. He still does music to this day, but he was like in a boy band, and then he had like a small career when he was younger, and he's still performing now. And seeing that so much really was like, I want to do that. I don't care if I get famous off of it. I just want to do it a couple of times.
Oh wow!
I wouldn't have to do it forever, but I want to know what it's like to hit a somewhat large stage and be able to just do your own work. You know what I mean? You were talking about why I'm kind of like really into it over here. Like I also have a theater background, and between being a pianist or being an actor, that phase of my life has kind of passed. Like it's not really something that I want to do. I don't want to just be a classical pianist, because honestly, I wasted a lot of my training. Like for years, I was not practicing. So scales and music theory will always be buried in my hands and my head. But I'm not somebody who's going to make a career of going on the stage like Mercy from Martial Law Band. Absolute God, by the way, bro, if you're watching this. But this was the one thing that kind of allowed me to still kind of entertain and engage in performing live, or really being out there live and like trying to provide an experience.
What do you love most about performing live? Because and do you have any favorite venues, pre-COVID, obviously, that you like to perform in?
It's been I'm really rusty now, to be honest, because back in 2019, like I was saying earlier, the scene was amazing. And I was doing a couple of shows here or there, paid or not. I was supposed to be at Martial Law Splash Fest for the sequel to the one that happened in 2019.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was going to do another show at the Royal Room with,
Oh, right.
City. And between that and the Bellingham Arts and Music Festival, all of those got canceled. So now I'm kind of getting in the phase where I'm like, I don't even know who's open, who's accepting, where the shows are being happening. So I've been doing a lot of small shows. Like I've been performing in Tacoma.
Okay.
I've had maybe like 3 performances in Tacoma in the last 5 months because they threw smaller COVID safe events. So I was able to kind of still perform in quarantine.
Yeah. And how's that been? How's it been?
Because even Crocodile closed and opened a new venue.
I know, I saw that. Yeah.
It's so sad.
Yeah. How's it been performing now that, you know, things are kind of opening back up again? How was that?
Oh, amazing. It feels like a little piece of something, insanity is back. Because I know for a lot of people, quarantine was not easy or forget easy. Like, let's just talk about how physically and mentally draining it was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how you get by. Like, can I have your secrets? Because that sucked, man. Let's not do that again.
Yeah, let's not. I'm with you 100%. That whole isolation thing. I mean, you know, but that's real though. I mean, you know, a lot of you know, people are, you know, mental health and just physical health and just, you know, being stuck in the house. A lot of it, you know, it was hard for folks. It was hard, you know. So I'm glad it feels like some sense of normalcy again. You know, hopefully we can keep it going, and because I want to see artists like yourself be able to be on the stage and do what you do, and you know, and love to do so much. So just got a couple minutes left. So now what's the next track? What's coming out? So June's coming out. What track's coming out in June?
Yeah, so June 12th, but sorry, between June 10th or 12th, because I'm actually uploading the track between today or tomorrow.
Okay.
It's called Supersonic. This one's actually produced by me and both of my roommates, actually, because I have a very musical household.
Okay.
I can hear my dog barking like mad downstairs.
Was that a dog? I heard something, but I can tell what it was.
My puppy here's an intruder. But yeah, so it's coming out between June 10th and June 12th, called Supersonic, produced by me, Pixel Shift, and Dre Spliffman. Dre Spliffman is an artist from Tacoma who's now living out here, but he's had a long history of music out in the Tacoma music scene.
Cool.
So I'm really excited to drop this. This one's a lot different from different routes. It's very, it's still kind of darker vibey, but it's a lot slower and a lot more. I'm doing something different when it comes to choruses this time, so I'm pretty excited to show this one.
All right, I love it. Again, I just love the versatility. I think it keeps people interested and keeps them like, what's he gonna do next? You know. So I think that's very smart.
Truly, if you go to my description on Spotify or anywhere else, I'm an experimental hip hop artist.
Yes.
I'm loath to even like name myself a hip hop artist, to be honest, sometimes. But like classical hip hop and boom bap is too much with me to not be like, yeah, this is totally where I come from.
Right.
A lot of my songs going to summer are going to sound very popish, very just good vibed, melodic context. And yeah, I don't think I'm really going to have like a really aggressive song until after summer ends. So I hope that you vibe with it.
I love it. Well, NoMan, where can people download the music and all of that stuff? Give them your social media and everything.
Yep. You can find me on Instagram I can't even talk right now. You can find me on Instagram at NoMan.SLAND. That's No Man's Land between the N and the S. No Man's Land. And I think by now, if I've done enough work, you should find me if you look it in enough. You can find me on all platforms as the directly spelled name right here.
Don't forget the period.
With the period. It's a long story. And I think you can also find me on Tidal and Apple Music and Deezer and whatever weird places that you guys are streaming music these days. But I'm everywhere. And I'll have TikTok, I guess, available soon. But I'm not really one to be in front of a camera like this all the time.
Well, you did a great job tonight, and I so thank you for joining me. And I'm so excited for you and excited to follow you. And we'll definitely have you back on the show later in the year and just catch up again.
Thank you so much. This was a lot of fun, and it's so cool to really just get the time to talk to you in length, You know what I mean? I think we had maybe like 2 minutes before the commercials last time.
Yes, exactly. Well, keep doing what you're doing. Keep entertaining us, and we'll definitely we'll have you on again. I'm excited about that. You people out there watching, thank you for tuning in a little bit later today. And bearing with the technical difficulties. We appreciate you. Be sure to hit me up on social media, on Twitter, K-Cee Deeva Show. K-Cee Deeva Show is on YouTube. Go to my YouTube channel, like, subscribe, please. Facebook, K-Cee Deeva. Hit me up if you're an artist, if you know someone that's an artist, they want to come on, they want to chit chat, let us get to know them, do a performance. I want to, especially if you're in the Seattle or Tacoma or Renton or Washington area, I want to promote our talent. So hit me up. All right. I'm going to leave you guys with this.